Hi, I'm here with Kim Calvi from Boston Edits. How are you, Kim?
I'm well, thank you. How are you, Dennis?
I'm doing great. So you ready for a little questions here?
I think so.
All right, let's do this. All right, the first question I have for you is tell me more
Mhm.
about your business and what you do.
Okay, so Boston Edits is a copy editing, copywriting, proofreading service. Generally, that's the grassroots of it. I've been doing this my whole career in IT, banking, and finance and law. And so, but in any of those verticals, I have always been a copy editor, copywriter, and a proofreader. And usually within the marketing sphere, if you will, within the marketing department. Um, so I have always done that, and then I've always had my own side hustle, working with clients of mine who they might have had their own cleaning business or their own chiropractor business or their own catering business, and they had brochures or pamphlets that they were trying to create, and they needed somebody with a second they needed a second set of eyes to make sure that their grammar was correct, their punctuation was correct, because they want to produce a quality marketing piece of collateral. So I've always done that as a side hustle. And then over the years, it's just escalated. So Boston Edits became an LLC as of January 1st, 2019. And this has been my full-time gig for almost 2 years now. And my clients are generally in the professional services, IT, a lot of lawyers. I would say lawyers make up 40% of my business. I work with engineers, insurance brokers, high-end auctioneers, usually B2B. Because these are people that they're very busy running their businesses and they don't have time to do anything content related, whether it's content for their website for search engine optimization purposes, which does speak a little bit to IT and marketing, which generally my clients, that's not their genre. That's not anything that they know much about. And so they want to stay away from it. They want to they want to keep their own eye on their own ball, so to speak. And so they hire me to manage that, to look at their content, to parlay that into marketing collateral, their website content, their other marketing initiatives, whether it's a press release or a brochure or a sell sheet, or even their social media, whether it's once a month. I've got a handful of clients in several different verticals that ask me to manage their monthly social media presence, whether it's writing an article for them, ghostwriting, copywriting, or I will write it in the third person and attribute it to Boston Edits, and I will post it on their social media platform, whether it's their LinkedIn profile or their blog on their website. Or wherever they need that particular monthly marketing initiative to take their content to reach their audience, to maximize their service and get their message and branding out there.
Now, do you have any specific programs that people can choose from, or how do you do that?
It's basically a la carte, because I do work with some authors that a lot of business coaches, business consultants who have they've got years of experience. They've always taken good notes. They have good case studies. And they will say to me, I'd like to I put all these notes together into somewhat of a book, and I would like to self-publish, but I need somebody to copy edit or proofread or both. That's one program that I have, if you will. Somebody has a specific manuscript. But then I have clients that say, like some lawyers, they've left the big firm, they're opening up their own law firm. They need somebody to build their website, which I can also do. I don't talk about that much, but I can do it. And I also manage it. I set it up because I have a background in IT. And I will write their website content for them. And then once that's usually a one and done program. But then lots of times they'll say to me, okay, but now I have a Facebook page or Instagram, or what about my LinkedIn profile? I need that updated, and I need to make it a little more relevant and snazzier, if you will. So that will parlay and roll into another type of program as well. And then I do work have worked with attorneys. Obviously, their documents are always attorney-client privilege, but a lot of them have templates that they need organized and consolidated. And so they will ask me to do exactly that. I will take all of their templated documents and consolidate them, make them streamlined, and that's another program too. So there are a couple of specific programs, but generally, I like to say to my clients, look, tell me what you need, and I'll tell you what I can do. And we will price it and give it a time frame accordingly, what works best for both parties.
Now, you already said a lot of different types of clients. Do you have specific ones, or it's pretty much like how do you go and get clients?
How do I go get clients? I network a lot, and I know a lot of attorneys. My significant other is an attorney. He's been practicing for 40 years, so he knows a lot of attorneys. And his networking groups are not the same networking groups that I participate in. So there's a little bit of a crossover. I will go to networking events with him, and that's how I meet new clients. Lots of times I will get clients from LinkedIn because editors know other editors. And one of my good friends is an editor, and she works in pharmaceuticals. That she works with pharmaceutical companies, like for example in Cambridge, and that is the language she speaks. So if somebody says to her, "Oh, I need a copy editor for my manuscript, and I'm a business coach," she doesn't want to have anything to do with that. So she will say, "Look at Kim's website, look at Kim's LinkedIn profile." She will send a message to me either via email or LinkedIn, and that's how I get clients too. Through LinkedIn, through other editors that I know on LinkedIn, who have editors who have now become friends. We refer business to each other. That's another way. Google search. I am all about search engine optimization, so I'm very active on Google My Business, and I check that regularly to make sure that people are looking at my website, and and even on LinkedIn, the analytics there, who's looking at my LinkedIn profile and who's looking at my website. And when somebody calls me, I always ask them, "Well, how did you hear about me?" And it could be from another networking group. It could be from Google My Business. It could be because they saw my LinkedIn profile or another editor. So that's always one of the first questions when I get a call or some kind of communication from a new client, because I get new clients from a variety of outlets.
Now, who are your ideal clients?
My ideal clients are B2B. I'm not against working with like people in the trades, if you will. But generally, their business is done word of mouth. So if an electrician is good, he's going to get business from his client because they're going to tell everybody about him once in a while. But generally, like I said, B2B, like the lawyers, the structural engineers, the accountants, the insurance brokers, they are very busy with their own clientele. They know their business. And so they need me to promote their business through content, because lots of times they'll realize, they'll say to me, I thought I can write my own content, it won't take that long. But lots of times they'll come back to me and they'll say, I'm so in the trenches, I can't be objective about this, and they write the way they speak. And you don't want to do that when you're publishing content. The written word is different from the spoken word. And they'll write down, and I say to them, well, go ahead and write it down and let me see it, and I will copy edit it so it looks a bit more refined for publication, if that's the route that they want to go. Because some of them are are actually pretty good writers. But then there are some that just say, here are my ideas. They email it to me in bullet points, and they just say, now you write it. I'm too busy running my business. I don't have time to sort through this and make it sound good and make it look good. And this is what I need from you. Here's the information. You do it.
Now, do you have a story of your most rewarding client moment or issue solved?
I like all of my clients, and largely because there's a good variety. Some of the projects I work on are the same, like, for example, website content. But what I love is that it forces me to, here's a good example. A client of mine, he has two businesses. He's a financial planner. That's one hat he wears, and he is also a structural engineer. So obviously he's very good with numbers. And I am not good with numbers. I'm a wordsmith. So he asked me to, I first managed the project for his new website. He was getting rid of his old website for his financial planning business. And he asked me to liaise between his website developer, who was in Nevada. And so that was a problem I solved. I took that off of his plate because he didn't have time. He's running two businesses full time. And he said, I don't have time. I don't understand IT. Here's what I need from you. And so I took the content and I learned a little bit about his business, exactly the message in particular that he wanted to express to his particular clientele. And I wrote that content and I gave it to the website developer, and we launched the new website. A few months later, he reached out to me and he said, yeah, I also have a structural engineering business, which I kind of knew, but I didn't realize how serious he was with it. And he said, I've already got another website developer. I just need you to write all brand new content. And I thought, oh my goodness, all right, I don't know anything about structural engineering. The beauty of being a copy editor, copywriter is that we are also very good researchers and we are very good at retaining information. And we're voracious readers. So he hired me. He put his trust and faith in me to write good content about structural engineering, as well as his own message, his own branding message. And so I took myself to the library and I read some books on structural engineering. I looked on the internet, in terms of, what other information could I cull regarding structural engineering? What's the latest in structural engineering to educate myself? And I wrote content for him. And honestly, I wasn't sure because as I said, my background's in IT, banking, law, finance, the whole bit. Structural engineering, not so much. But I wrote it and he was thrilled with it. And this is a man who is very detail oriented. He has to be. He's very numbers oriented. There's a bottom line. And he was thrilled with it. He said, you nailed it. You got it. And I was very happy with that. So same client, two different businesses, two problems solved.
Nice job. Now, what makes your business unique?
What makes my business unique is that my talent for being a chameleon, I guess. I'm very good at, like I said, I love to read. I don't mind doing research. I started off my career in IT writing white papers, which is basically a glorified term paper if you ask a high school student, right? And I love doing that sort of thing. So what makes my business unique is that I enjoy doing that. I enjoy the process of research and writing and creating unique content that is for my client that sounds like them, exactly the way they want to convey their message and talk about their business and what they bring to the table in a way that displays their competence and their confidence. And so my background, in research and writing, and that I've had exposure to different verticals, even consumer products as well. I understand how marketers think. That's my undergrad too, by the way, international marketing and brand management. So I'm very good at understanding the psychology of how people respond to content and what makes them tick and what is going to resonate. So I bring that to the table as well. And I say that to my clients. You tell me the information. You give me the bare bones information. And now I want to hear you talk about it. Tell me your passion about it. And I write all of that down. And then I go do my research to school myself a little bit more in their particular field. Even if it's law, I don't know every legal field. I'm certainly no expert in that. But if somebody's an estate planning attorney, or I haven't talked to criminal lawyers at all, but tax attorney, that's another whole language, right? And I have to learn that. I have to school myself, become very familiar with it. And I'm very good at retaining information and learning information and taking all of that and distilling it into content that is going to work for them to promote their product, their service, what makes them better and different in their particular vertical.
Cool. Now, how can people learn more about you?
They can call me. I'm always happy to talk about what it is that I'm reading and writing. My website is pretty comprehensive, but the media services that I offer, there's one whole page of a long list of what I offer. Kind of speaks to what you were saying about programs, but also my skills and talents and the projects that I participate in. They can look on my LinkedIn profile. On YouTube, if they Google my name, they should find a couple of videos when I have been on a couple of, I've been on the local library's TV station, as well as a couple of other interviews as well, talking about what I do. And I live on the South Shore, so I do try to hit the networking circuit. But they can just Google my name. They can Google Kimberly Calvi. I prefer that they Google Boston Edits. And if you do Google Boston Edits, Google, the first page is all Boston Edits, my company. So that's the first and best way to find me.
Cool. Any final thoughts you have?
Just that, that we're all experiencing the new normal, and I'm very grateful that right now I do have steady projects that I'm working on. I know a lot of people are in panic mode. My message to everybody there is I published an article about a month or so ago on LinkedIn. They can look for it there, about having a non-defeatist attitude. It's not easy. I understand that. We're all nervous to one degree or another. But I think now is a good opportunity for people for every one of us to kind of spend a little time scrutinizing our business and see how we can plant new seeds of growth for when this is either over or the business, business has changed completely. And I encourage people who have their own businesses, whatever kind of business, to look at how they can better market themselves and what content, good online content, a good social media presence, which is online content, how that plays into their overall presence and reputation. And I encourage everybody to use this downtime to scrutinize that and to give me a call and see how I can be of help with that.
Great. Well, Kim, it was a pleasure doing this with you, and good luck with you and your business.
Thank you so much, Dennis. I really appreciate the time. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
For more information on Boston Edits, please visit their website at bostonedits.com. There you'll find information about Boston Edits, as well as information to contact Kim directly. You can reach her at phone number 972-800-2406 or email at kim@bostonedits.com.